North Korea is home to more than 25 million people, who live under a form of communist rule which strictly controls all areas of daily life. Women's rights in North Korea have varied throughout history. In recent history, major events of the 20th century, such as the division of Korea and later the 1990s North Korean famine, have played an important role in shaping sex relations. Before 1945 in North Korea, women had very few rights. They were expected to give birth to male heirs and rear them to assure the continuation of the family line. Women had few opportunities to participate in the social, economic, or political life of society. In traditional Korean society, academic education was not considered important for women and only a few received formal education. In the 19th century, it was Christian missionaries who established girls' schools, thus allowing young Korean females to obtain a modern education. The social status and roles of women were radically changed after 1945. Many challenges remained, however. Although the new regime brought women more equal participation in the labor force outside the home and more access to education, women continued to be considered inferior to men. Some aspects of school curricula for boys and girls also are different, with greater emphasis on physical education for boys and on home economics for girls. However, in the four-year university system, women majoring in medicine, biology, foreign languages and literature seem especially numerous. North Korea remains a highly patriarchal society, and the women's role in the family sphere and in the public sphere has changed several times from the end of World War II to this day. After the war, women were enrolled in the socialist economy in large numbers, and played a major role in the rebuilding of the country. But as the economy improved in later decades, women were less needed in the workforce, and a move towards more traditional roles emerged. Even within the lowest rungs of the Songbun system, the caste system of North Korea, women face unique hostilities. It is common for those living in poverty to turn to prostitution and drug use, and even those who manage to escape the country through China risk being sexually abused or trafficked. The Great Famine of the 1990s changed the North Korean society deeply. During and after the famine, millions of North Koreans grasped at any survival strategy necessary to feed themselves. Those who did not change and whom the state did not feed died. For thousands of North Korean women, prostitution was the survival strategy of last way to feed themselves and often their children. In Kim Il-sung's North Korea, the sex trade was invisible to the outside world. That began to change when Chinese traffickers forced thousands of female famine refugees into the sex trade. By the end of the Great Famine, prostitution had become stealthily ubiquitous inside North Korea. It also became more organized and more predatory, with state officials playing a growing role in its patronage and protection. The Kipumjo, or Pleasure Squad, is an alleged collection of groups of approximately 2,000 women and girls that was maintained by the head of state of North Korea for the purpose of providing pleasure, mostly of a sexual nature, and entertainment for high-ranking Workers' Party of Korea officials and their families, as well as occasionally distinguished guests. Its prostitutes were known as Manjokjo and were organized as a part of the Kipumjo, who were drafted from among 14 to 20-year-old virgins, trained for about 20 months and often ordered to marry guards of Kim Jong-il or national heroes, when they are 25 years old. They try to find the smartest or the most beautiful girls in every school. For a girl selected to serve in the Kipumjo, it was impossible to refuse even if she was the daughter of a party official. As parents, this is good news for them and they are happy about it. Because it is a privilege for them to know the government is interested and wants to recruit their child to serve their God. But sadly they will never know, their daughter will not return home. Manjokjo were obliged to have sex with male high-ranking party officials. Their services were not available to most North Korean men. Not all Kipumjo worked as prostitutes. Other Kipamjo activities were massaging and half-naked singing and dancing. The Kipamjo were disbanded shortly after Kim Jong-il's death in 2011. North Korea is a source country for women and children who are subjected to sex trafficking. Some North Korean women who migrate to China become prostitutes, either voluntarily or forcibly. When the women are repatriated to North Korea, they are subjected to forced abortion and their mixed-race children are subject to infanticide. Many are enslaved in brothels in districts in northeast China with large migrant worker populations. The girls are about 9 and women working in the cybersex industry are forced to perform sex acts and are sexually assaulted in front of webcams. Many of the subscribers are thought to be South Korean. Women forced into marriage were mostly sold in rural areas for 1,000 to 50,000 yuan and were raped and abused by their husbands. Today, North Koreans are making their own way, earning money in an entrepreneurial and often illegal fashion. There are only a few problems in North Korea these days that money can't solve. As life inside North Korea is changing, so too are people's reasons for escaping. Some are leaving North Korea because they want their children to get a better education. Some are leaving because their dreams of success and riches in the North Korean system are being thwarted. And some are leaving because they want to be able to speak their minds.